Good evening, lads, and welcome to Garage Gamers Review Discussion. I am Zorbs, Z-O-R-B-Z, and this is Ice Cube, and we have a great show for you today.
Charmed,
I'm
Zorbs. Sure. We have some reason talking in a very posh voice, even though we are not posh whatsoever.
Oh, what?
And as we are now posh gamers, we're going to do posh reviews of a few games that we have played recently.
Oh, we can put on a Cockney accent, alright? That was kind of like a yobbo mixed with like...
It came out quite naturally for you, I thought.
Yeah, right, Sheila, let's get this underway.
So we've got a triple whammy review session coming up for you guys that have been very kind by watching and listening to this video. We should point out at the start as well, don't have to watch this. We recommend listening to it in the car, when you're travelling.
Or you're having sex. I mean, what?
You didn't say that. Yeah, so...
what I do when I'm at work, just put on the headphones and just don't deal with bullcrap from anyone.
Yeah, and we guarantee you might enjoy it.
Yes.
So that's exactly right. So we've got like a triple review going on, and it's games that are kind of out already, but some you've probably played a lot of, some you probably haven't played a lot of, but it's worth the feedback, and you're going to find it interesting, trust us. So Zorbs has got 2 and I got 1. So Zorbs, what is your first game that you're going to review, go over, and explain?
Well, so the reason I didn't do a proper review for this one was...
This is a proper review, this is a
proper
review.
I didn't do my usual written review, is because this game is not fully fledged yet. It's not a proper game release, it's a game in... what do they call it?
Beta.
No, not a beta. It's
unfinished.
Yes, but
in development.
I think it's Xbox Access or something. Anyway, PUBG is what I'm talking about. I think PUBG just got a real official release on PC, but it's still in like this sort of dev build mode.
Ridiculously popular.
Ridiculously popular. So
what's the premise? What's the premise? How does it work?
So it's kind of like the Hunger Games. In which, well, okay, let's just start from the start. In this, you're in a helicopter, you just parachute out of the helicopter, you land on the ground, and you go searching for weapons and whatever you can find. And the aim of the game is to murder everyone. Yep. So it's basically one versus all, 100 people, and that's the catch, is there's 100 people in each game.
But there's another catch, isn't there, Zorbs, about what's happening around you.
What's that?
Is this not... maybe I've got the wrong game. Isn't the world closing in on you?
Well, okay. Well, that's sort of. So you start off and you think, damn, 100 people on this huge map. How am I going to find 100 people? I'll be here forever. So what it does is every few minutes you grab all your resources, and at the start generally no one's getting killed, except for a loser who parachutes and lands wrong and dies. So basically you're running in, you're grabbing everything, and there'll be a ring on the map, and that ring will indicate you have 3 minutes to get inside this ring, otherwise this blue energy field just comes and it starts draining your health until you get in that ring. Okay. And that is to condense the map, to get everyone in.
Yep.
And then that'll keep happening over the match, because obviously by the time there's like 20, 30 people left, you would assume that they're all close by now. And there's also things where you could think, oh, well, I'm just going to hide out. I'm in the ring, I'm in the safe zone, I'm just going to hide out in this spot. And every now and then a red ring will pop up on there, which means that if you don't get out of there within like a minute or two, that area is getting bombed. So you're just like, holy crap!
Also, if you're in the same spot for a while, you're going to get nuked out of there.
It's not guaranteed though. It'll show up randomly, these red spots. So
it's an added element. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
So you can play this one versus all. You can play it, I think, in a duo mode they just added. But when
what about team-based? Is it team-based?
Or you can do 4v4 teams.
Interesting.
Still to encompass the whole 100 people.
Yep.
So
it actually, I haven't played this yet. I've heard so much about it. I know it's super popular. But I can kind of see why this is popular. I can't see why anyone plays Call of Duty Zombies, for example, but I can see why people would play this.
Yeah, I mean...
And it looks cool, and it's third person.
Okay, so here's the thing. It looks cool on PC. When it first came out for me to check out on Xbox, it looked horrible. Like a PS2 game.
Okay.
And textures were popping up, and it ran at about probably 5 frames a second. Like, it was just janky as hell.
Yeah.
You'd be running and then it'd chuck you back like you'd
Rubber
rubber
band.
band.
Yeah.
And you run a bit more and keep jerking you back.
Yeah.
So now they've had, I think it's been 2 patches now.
Why don't they just finish these games before they release them? I'm really getting jack of this pre-release crap. Just finish the damn game and release it.
That's what I want to know too, but I mean, I guess people on Xbox are like, oh, we want this game, so they're like, fine, have it then, it's not finished. But at the moment, the state that it's in now, it's running pretty well, still got a bit of rubber banding, still a bit janky, but it's definitely a lot better, a lot smoother. Graphics look a bit better. And I was just like, why
Is it on PS4?
No,
Okay.
no. So I believe Xbox either has a timed exclusive, or it could actually just stay on Xbox. I'm not too sure, to be honest. But Microsoft is saying, like, we've got PUBG! And I think that's why they've released it now, to just try and get those fans over, especially...
Done a few little good moves recently. You know, the Project Scorpio was a good little move to get ahead of PlayStation.
And that's PUBG. The ideal place to play PUBG as well.
Yep,
So I thought, like, I wouldn't really enjoy this game because I was just like, oh, I'm not a fan of multiplayer games. So then I was like, oh, I don't want to be in a team because I don't really care about playing with other people.
What about choosing a character and stuff? How does that work?
Oh, it's so generic. You just choose a couple of different faces and hairstyles. And I think you can unlock stuff
classes,
later on.
Different classes?
No, there's no classes.
Oh, so everyone's the same
guy?
Yeah,
it's all the same.
Okay.
So there's no advantage of other people. They're not going to be like, oh, I leveled up to 35 and you suck. Yet. I don't know if that's going to happen when the full release comes out, but at the moment, everyone's the same.
So there's not much variety in the character customization.
Not yet.
That sounds a bit disappointing.
Not yet, because it's just
but like you got 100 players. I mean, you know.
Well,
like,
my guy has the dumbest.
Like, character customization.
My guy looks like Hugh Jackman with like half his head shaved and long hair on one side. It's weird.
It's like emo Wolverine.
And there's like 2 pairs of pants and 2 shirts. But while you're out there, you can actually find new clothing. So I think what will happen is once you find that new clothing, you unlock it in the eventual release. Okay. So I've found like camo pants and gas masks and stuff, and you just put them on while you're in game.
Okay.
I don't know what they for, but you know. Yep. You can find bulletproof vests, ammo. So here's a little hint. So I think it's cool because I'm thinking, all right, there's 100 people. They could be anywhere. So what is some telling signs of where you might encounter someone? So my first thing was, okay, so I've dropped off. You can see a couple of people in the map dropping off as well, like in your area, but the map's pretty damn huge. So if you don't see anyone, you're like, okay, you go into the first house or garage, whatever you see, you try and loot as much as you can find. And then you think, okay, I've got to now head to this area. There's a lot more houses. I could go get more loot in there, but there could be someone in there. So the first telling sign was, all the doors are locked when you start the game. And then I was noticing, that house's door's open. Someone's either been in there or they're waiting in there to kill me. So what I thought I'd do is every time I go in a building, close the door behind me so people don't know that. So there's a little tip for you. I'm sure everyone knows this by now.
It's like you played it once and everyone else has played it.
I've played it heaps of times now. But yeah, like cool little things like that where you're just like, if I close the door, people will think, they won't, it's like that split-second decision like, oh, should I go in there? Oh, that one's door's open, but that's not, I better go in this one. And then all of a sudden you're just waiting behind the door, bang, shoot them.
And for more Zorb strategies, go to zorbstrategies.com.au.
Yes, where you will find nothing because it doesn't exist. But yeah, I didn't think I'd like it, but there's so much tension because you're like, there's 100 people. It's not like 10 people.
Yeah.
So I was sitting there in one match and I'm sitting in this bathtub upstairs in a house, locked all the doors, and I'm just waiting there with a shotgun. And someone runs in, I shoot, I get him in the arm, he doesn't die, he runs back out and I'm like, okay, so I'm just going to wait there until he comes back in. I didn't realise he had a grenade. But he threw it, it bounced off the wall, it blasted him, and then I went to go outside to kill him, and it turns out his mate was behind him, 2 people on the ground, and so if there's 2 people on the ground, this was, by the way, this was in a team-based one. I just pissed off, left my team, they died anyway. Yeah. So you don't even have to play with your team.
There? Yeah.
Where's Sobs? It was funny. So So these two guys couldn't heal each other because they were both in that state where you need someone to heal you.
Yeah.
So I was just looking at him, I'm like, you suckers, bang, 2 kills in a row.
Oh, wow.
That was awesome. And I got down to 11 people out of 100, and I was like, holy crap. The gratification of being like, I've survived 79 other people, 89 other people, you know, whatever you get up to. It does suck when you die, like, you know, the first 10, but...
The power of hiding in a bathtub.
Yeah. But then there'll be good runs where you can find a car, jump in a car and drive around, and, you know, if you're driving in a straight line, obviously you're going to get hammered, but, you know, zigzag a bit and you'll be fine.
Okay.
And it really made me so I got a shotgun and I'm like, damn, that's going to be the best. Mm-hmm. There's no time for loading in this game. One shot, missed the guy. Second shot, got the guy. He didn't die. By the time I reloaded, bang, he just killed me. And I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
So you really got to choose the best weapon.
It does sound pretty good, but that to me sounds like a very interesting, intriguing, good multiplayer game. Don't get that very often. Like this multiplayer crap we get on repeat, like all the Call of Duty clones, Battlefield clones, it's all the same shit. That sounds really good. Sounds interesting. It sounds like the thought outside the box, and it sounds really good. So,
but my major concern though is PS4 has Fortnite, and I think Fortnite's on Xbox as well.
Yeah, it is.
And Fortnite's picking up, and it has that battle royale mode as well, but it also has base building, so you can build up walls and
they both seem to be pretty popular at the same time. I'm surprised. I would have thought that I don't know how successful Overwatch still is, but it sounds like PUBG and Fortnite could very well be taking over now, or maybe they're all going at the same time.
They're different enough to sort of give you a bit of variety, whereas Overwatch is very heavily team-based, whereas this is, you know, your team is there, but let's be honest, as long as one of you survives till the end, your team wins.
Yeah.
And so I tried playing the team match. This is a funny story. So your team members, you can see them on the map, and I was like, damn, I'm really far away from them, because they weren't parachuting at the start. And I'm like, what are they doing? Like, they're taking forever. So I just like, screw this. I got out. And then, you know, we started converging on the same place. So I thought, all right, I'll run up and meet up with them. And there's no, I don't know if there's chat, but I haven't heard anyone talking. I don't think chat's enabled yet. So I was just like, all right. So I'll walk where they are, just try and stick around. And 2 of them came in on a like a, it's like a bike with one of those little sidecars.
Yeah.
And so we were all ready to leave, and you know, I guess one guy gets on the bike, and I jumped in the sidecar, and the other guy in my team shot me in the head, and then he jumped in the sidecar, and they drove off.
What? They can do that?
Yeah.
That sounds.
I was like,
sucks.
what is the point of this?
That sucks.
What a loser.
Yeah,
we're on the same team.
Yeah, or maybe you're in the wrong mode.
It's like, oh, you got in my sidecar. Like, you know, you just assume that's what he was thinking. Like, what an idiot.
That's frustrating.
So I was like, well, good luck to our team then.
Yeah. That'd really annoy me. That's like a troll sort of thing.
So that's why I was just like, you know what, I'm just going to do 1v all. I don't give a shit about anyone. I'm just going to murder everyone and
well, if that's the
try
way,
my luck.
If that's the way team play is based, then I don't blame you.
And it's more gratifying that way.
So what do you give it? Do you give it a star rating, or are you...
It's not ready yet. Like, it's not even finished. So, I mean, let's give it a 5 out of 10 because it's at the moment, there's not much you can do with it. You just do the same loop. You don't unlock anything. You can't chat.
Okay. It sounds like there's so much potential, though. If they add these things, these elements to it, it's like a lot of potential. So I'm going to give it a go someday, one of these days.
So, I mean, I would recommend it. See, I don't know. Do you want to pay $40 for a game that's not finished? I'd say maybe hold off a bit if you haven't bought it.
I still say finish the damn game before you release it. I'm so sick of this pre-beta crap. Just none of that shit. Just get the game done and then release it. None of this pre-release public plays. No, stop it. Stop it. Okay, so we've got 3 reviews happening in Zorbs, and I'm going to do the second review from this video.
This is going to be a long one.
No, it's not going to be a long one. No, I'll keep it get punchy straight to the point. Now, there's one game that I've been playing, Zorbs.
I know, and you never shut up about it.
Yeah, I know, because I've been hooked on it for ages, and I've put all other games aside while I've been addicted to this thing. It's hugely popular quietly. It's quietly hugely popular. And it's a game that you probably have heard of.
Many people talking about it.
Well, the reason why is because it's a game that's actually made in Korea, right? But this game, I shit you not, is every bit as good as The Witcher 3. And that's a huge call. I love The Witcher 3. I played every skerrick of that game and I love it. But this is quietly just as good. Black Desert Online, alright? Some of you may hear that and go, oh yeah, I know that game.
What is that, a Ghost Recon game?
No, what
it
sounds
it is, like one.
Basically, it is an MMO RPG, right? But it's different to all those other MMOs that are stacked up there. Action RPG, very much so. But let me try to explain why it's as good as The Witcher. I'm mostly talking about on a visual perspective. It's open world, huge open world, bigger than, if not just as big as The Witcher 3's massive map. I'd probably say it's bigger in total, because The Witcher has multiple ones, but when you add them together, this one's bigger. But visually, it's just as lush, it's just as amazing.
I did see the graphics you showed me.
The reason why nobody's heard of this game is because it doesn't have this Western world marketing budget. It's developed in Korea, but they've got the same emotion, facial capture stuff, the same horse captures, like the horse riding is in it. Looks just as good as like Red Dead and The Witcher. It rides just as well. It's just this little secret.
10 out of 10 horse riding.
Well, I mean, yeah, I put it there at that, and it's. I just can't emphasize enough like how this is like this secret massive game that just nobody knows about.
So tell us about the fighting style. Like, what do you do?
Well, this is the fighting style. I got this amongst many things to say, but the fighting style is one of the biggest separators that makes this a good game, aside from all those MMO RPGs that you guys cringe over.
Me.
And me too. Like, the idea of another MMO, like I had enough of them. This is done, right? But this one is really different. It's obviously you can choose many different classes. You got wizard, witch, sorceress, warrior, ninja, bunch of different ninjas and stuff, and they're all different classes, but they're all unique. They don't feel like your traditional classes. They got the same names, but they do different things. Like the sorceress, for example, has got like does like a fist combat, but has like magic in the fists, and there's so many different.
There's a bit of fire fisting going on.
Yeah, all black powdery smoke stuff anyway. And but the thing is, like, the combat, you're using keyboard and mouse because this is a PC game and it's on its way to Xbox and maybe PS4 as well.
It'll run at 2 frames a second.
Probably. It won't look as good, but who knows. But the combat is kind of, like we were talking about in the previous video, it's a little bit like Dynasty Warriors in a way, but less repetitious and boring. If that's far less repetitious and boring because there's so many different moves you can do. And they've made it so that you can kind of use the keyboard and mouse and just fluently do these amazing acrobatic moves that just look like this spectacle on screen. And it's perfectly fluid. It's not like the old MMOs are like push 1, push 2, now you push 3.
And then the character would run up and do it themselves, and I hated that.
Yeah, it's a load of rubbish. But this is so different. It's so different. Think of like. It's actually like one of the best action games I've played with hand-to-hand combat. It's just that it's that good, and it's very surprising because it is an MMO. Obviously, I've been through the classes. It's also got the best, hands down, character customization I've ever seen.
Yeah, it did look pretty damn good from what I saw.
It's just you can make the most amazing looking characters, and you can tweak every little detail. It's probably it's a big call. I do love Saints Row 3. Character customization.
Saints Row 3 was amazing.
That was really good too. I put them both up there. They're both up there. But that's how good this is. I haven't seen characters.
I saw his character. It's just this really hot girl with big bobs.
Well, you can make all sorts of types of characters. That's just one of them. In fact, you have a whole family of characters, which actually, if you start again, everything you've done before doesn't get lost. It just carries on because it's part of the family, and they all interconnect. I won't bother even going into that.
For the people out there who are just like, hey, how come on games you can make girls have these huge breasts when you make a character create them? Why can't you make dudes with huge wangs walking around?
By all means, yeah.
I'm surprised Saints Row didn't do that.
They did.
I remember that. You had this huge bulge.
In Saints Row 3 you can do that. And 2, yep, you totally can. And you know, I'm all for that. You know, you do it for one, do it for the other. Fine.
It just looks so funny. You just walk around this normal dude with this huge bulge on the front.
Yeah, well, it's pointing downwards, but
yeah, but still, it just
we just upped the rating of this video. Yeah. But anyway, what else we got? So yeah, obviously it's Witcher-like with the horse. Each area, there's so many different area types, and each one is so unpredictable. You'll go, and obviously there's like, you know, forests and mountains and stuff,
Deserts,
all that stuff.
obviously.
Yeah, the desert's a whole other world in itself. The majority of the world, you don't even get to the desert until you're pretty much almost finished the game.
It's in the name of the game.
I know, but it's a big part of the game. Every world you go to, like you go into worlds where like if you'll go to a castle that's being attacked by harpies, and you got the soldiers being lifted up in the air and dropped and stuff. It's like Lord of the Rings battle scene sort of thing. And this is like an MMO. It's crazy. And that's just one area. And then you go to the next one. You've got like giant tree men, and and they got little. And even if you think you know what you're going to see, they have little secret hidden animations of things you don't expect around the corner. The desert. When you get to the desert, there's a whole different element. That's off to the east, and this vast land. It's got this really eerie kind of heartbeat music in the background, and you don't have, and you can get dehydration out there. So you need to make sure you bring the right stuff with you, otherwise your health will slowly go down. And unless you have a compass, you'll just get lost out there. And it's super eerie. And then you got the ocean. You can build a boat and you can go sailing like it's Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
What about story though?
Story, story's.
Is it voice acting?
Yeah, there's voice acting. Your character doesn't talk, but everyone kind of talks around you. It's there. You're kind of with it, but it's not that fantastic. But the thing is, it almost doesn't need it really. I mean, most people aren't following the story that closely. They'll follow it, but the thing is, the visuals kind of tell more of the story. You get what's going on almost without reading it. One of the amazing things about this as well is that it's got this auto path system, which sounds like a bit of a nothing, but it's fantastic. If you can just like go look on the map and go, I want to go here, you just right click on that area and you push like a button on the keyboard, and your character will auto path there.
That's what Final Fantasy 15 does.
Does it? Yeah. Well, you can just go up and make yourself a cup of tea. You can go to the bathroom, take a short solid break, and come
play
back.
with your loved ones.
But it's so underrated. It's so like that feature. It's just like it's amazing how like when you suddenly don't have that feature for whatever reason, it's like, man, I've got to sit here like focused trying to get to this location, avoiding the rocks and stuff like that. So that in itself, I just can't express enough. And plus, there's a lot of AFK activity, which is away from keyboard activity. Think people who don't want to fight so much, they can do so many different things. Like they can do trading, cooking, alchemy, processing, farming, and they're all legitimate trades that will earn you money.
You can read books.
That doesn't sound as interesting. But I personally don't do that. But I will do, say, cooking. If I've got to do something for like half a day, I can just set the PC on cooking, and she'll be getting experience while I'm away from the keyboards and collecting stuff that I need to earn money. Speaking of money, it's probably the most valuable thing here because you do go up levels, but the most important thing to get your character really powerful here is the gear that you buy. It's mostly about the gear and getting yourself in the marketplace and buying the stuff that you need.
In-game currency?
Yes, in-game currency.
How much have you paid out of your own money?
You don't have to pay a cent. I've bought like outfits and pets. Pets will pick up all your loot when it drops around you, so you don't have to pick up each time.
It's not necessary to spend your own money.
Absolutely not.
Did you have to buy the game though?
Well, yeah, but like I think you can buy it now for like less than $10 or something.
Okay, so it wasn't a free to play.
No, it's stuff free to play anyway. It's a cop out. You also have workers. You can assign workers to go and harvest stuff for you. So while you're doing your thing,
you can have slaves.
Yes, pretty much. But you are paying them, so they're not.
Okay, yeah, that's better. It's good.
The marketplace has this. It's where everyone trades their stuff and they buy stuff, and it's got this insane balance system where even the crappiest items need to be purchased regularly because it's used for enhancing weapons later on when they get more advanced. So it doesn't sit there stale and never sells. Like they've got this economy which just all clicks and connects. It's crazy.
No wonder he's been playing it non-stop.
It's that addictive.
It sounds like a big
It feels like when you're not playing it, you feel like you're missing out. Like you feel like your character's not developing. You feel like because they give you these rewards.
That's why that new disease got acknowledged in the the medical journal now of gaming addiction.
It wouldn't surprise me. It's that addictive. And,
once you start not going to family events, you stop going to work, we'll know you have a problem.
I've been tempted. Stop, just quit work.
Oh, everyone's been tempted for that.
But then even then, outside of that, Zorbs, there's different game modes you can go to. There's like Red Battlefield, which is basically like a PvP fighting area. there's militia, there's basically like a horde mode from Gears of War where you get waves of enemy coming through, and you have to like defend like this area behind you, all sorts of stuff. Enhancing becomes a big deal later on because your weapons get to a certain point where it can't get any better, and that's a whole other story. I don't have time to get into in this video. And it's secretly hugely popular as well. It's like there's a lot of active players in this game.
Yeah, so it's not just a dead world.
No, but it just takes people who, because when I first played this game, when it first came out, it was very daunting because there was so much information and clutter. It was too confusing. It looked amazing, but it was too confusing. I came back to it about a year later. It got released on Steam at the same time. And they fixed the beginning, so it was just much easier to kind of slowly understand
things. Get your head around things.
And it is by far the most confusing game that I've probably played because a lot of it's deliberately not explained. However, once you start wrapping your head around it, that's when it starts to really kick in. And you start looking at other games and go, I could play this other game now, but I could play more Black Desert. and you're not going back to Black Desert because they just.
That's why I don't play those games.
Yeah, well, you know what? Any other MMO, I wouldn't give a damn with. But this one particular one, like it's just unlike any other one.
And that's why they're evil. They ruin people's lives.
They do. I got to admit, this one certainly has. But it literally pisses over every MMO.
He hasn't showered in weeks. You probably see the stench.
Just like coming off me on the video.
Yeah, that shirt wasn't green, it was white before.
That's right. But Homer's always been yellow.
Yeah.
So, yeah, anyway, look, I can't recommend it enough. Just jumping on board, giving it a go, see how you feel. And you
want to waste your life, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it is a life drainer, but like it's worth it. I mean, if I wasn't playing that, I'd just be playing some other stuff, which would probably be lesser stuff. But I still don't rate it above. Like, I put more hours in this game than any game I've ever played, but I still don't rate it above certain other games that I've played.
Good.
Stuff like Dark Souls, Silent Hill. There's certain games, it's so amazing, but it's not quite as good as some of the shorter ones. So, there you go. Yeah, but still, as I said, can't recommend it enough. It's so addictive.
Black Desert Online.
Black Desert Online.
Online Desert of Black.
Do you have a third one, or do we have time for a third one?
Yes, we do.
Oh, we do? Yes.
Yes. So my third one is Pokemon Ultra Moon, it is Ultra Moon. So there's also Pokemon Ultra Sun, but I got the Moon one.
You got Moon. You got given a game
Actually, no, I got the Sun one, damn it. Yes.
It doesn't even what games.
They're both the same game, let's be honest.
Yes they are.
The cover's different, I think there's a couple of different Pokemon.
This is where I fall asleep.
Yeah, so I haven't played a Pokemon game since Ruby, which I think was the third Pokemon game.
But you did get into that silly app thing that was.
Pokemon Go, yeah, I played that for a bit. So, but because when I was in primary school, I played Pokemon Blue, which is the original Pokemon Blue and Red, and I got heavily into that because I was in primary school. Everyone was playing it, and I loved that game. And then the next one came out and I just had no interest. And I don't know why. Like, why, if I loved the first one, why wasn't I excited? So anyway, I didn't play Gold and Silver.
Well, I think probably because Pokemon as an entity had phased out. And it should have stayed phased out. But for some reason, the damn thing keeps coming back for this eternity of our lives.
Well, apparently Gold and Silver, a lot of people say it's their favourite, which is weird because, anyway. So I missed that one and everyone was like, oh, it's really good, you missed out. So I jumped into the next one, which is Ruby and Sapphire, and I enjoyed that one as well. But I was like, then they just kept coming out, and I was like, they're the same game.
Yep.
It's the same thing.
Yep.
And I was just like, well, to be honest, that's every game out there these days. But
just before you get too much into this, why don't they just, considering how popular Pokemon is, why don't they make a really amazingly good Pokemon game? You know what I mean? Like, every Pokemon game that's been made is this little shitty little thing. Like, why isn't someone going like, AAA budget, make this the greatest thing ever?
That's what everyone wants to know. Because they can still make so much money.
I'm not endorsing this. I don't want this to happen. I think Pokemon's a heap of crap, and I don't want to see it ever again. But
they're making one for the Switch. Huh? They're making a proper one for the Switch. But I feel like they're still going to do a shitty art style. I don't think they're going to make it look like a 2018 game or a 2019 game whenever it comes out.
Anyway, as you were.
Yeah, I've wondered that too. So, which actually brings me to the next point. So, booting it up, I'm just like, okay, what can I expect? I haven't played one since the Game Boy Advance. 3DS is quite a bit more powerful than that. So it's in 3D now, and not 3D as in 3D glasses, which is a funny thing. You can't. There's no 3D for it. So I'm playing it on 3DS. You put the slider up, nothing happens. Wow. So I was like, okay, clearly they just gave up on that. So anyway, so the world is in 3D.
Not even they give a shit about the game.
The world is in 3D. It's
just get the game out.
All the Pokemon are rendered in 3D. Everything's 3D. Buildings, everything. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool, but it looks horrible.
Yeah.
And I say that because, okay, so the 3DS has some games that look okay, like Luigi's Mansion 2 looked pretty damn good.
No, they made some amazing 3DS games.
Yeah, Mario
some
looked good.
Some games like I really love my 3DS actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then there's some games that look horrible on there. And this one, it has charm, it has bright colours. The presentation is great in terms of like, there's a lot of effort put into like little details and stuff. But the anti-aliasing in it, so everyone is jagged as all hell,
really?
And the textures are so bad, like people's eyes will just not even be a nice line around it, just blurs into everything.
It's because they can just stick their shittiest developers onto it and it's just still going to sell because of the name. And the name will sell it.
Like, when you're in a battle, the Pokemon look good, but the characters I interact with look like crap. And I'm just like, when, like you said, are they going to put this on a proper console? Because I'm sick of playing these games that they just look half-assed.
I'm sorry I asked that question. I really don't want any resources spent on any more Pokemon anything. No more.
Okay, so like, it's nice and colourful, it's pretty to look at in that way, but then when you see the characters, they just look horrible.
Okay, but is this like the same old turn-based style thing, like this?
Yeah, so
start or what's different?
Battling so far is pretty much the same thing. You know, you fight and you catch Pokemon.
Yeah.
By the way, the tutorial is ridiculously long, just as all the other ones, and it's just let me go out. I know what Pokemon is, but I know kids play this, so they need to learn. Yeah. But now they've got like stuff like I think they had breeding in the later ones. They got breeding, and then you can get these like shiny Pokemon, which I don't even know what the hell they are. And there's like Mega Evolutions, and there's like a photo mode where you can take photos of Pokemon. So it's kind of got a bit of Pokemon Snap in it.
Who cares about the stupid little things? Like
there's all these little mini games in there, which
the only thing I want to do with a Pokemon is kick it like a soccer ball as far as I can. So I never have to see it again.
Well, this isn't your review, so shut. But there is a lot of little mini games to sort of help break up the pacing of just doing the same thing, which is kind of nice. I mean, the original Pokemon had like poker machines. I mean, they were promoting gambling on there, which is weird. But you know, I used to get addicted to playing that on there. So there is little mini games to sort of keep yourself sidetracked. But the story's just so slowly paced. Like, I feel like I played 5 hours and did nothing. Like, and it's just very grindy, as they've always been. Like, get a crap Pokemon, level it up, and then, oh, look, there's another one, level it up, and there's too many. So it
sounds like
there's too many.
It sounds like so there's even more than
there's so many. And then they've changed up some of the originals to make them look a bit different because of this whole region. Then there's Pokemon you can only catch at night. There's Pokemon you can only catch in the day. It's just too much.
Would you have considered buying this had you not read it?
No.
So it wouldn't even be a consideration?
No.
Okay.
Because it's still on inferior hardware. I don't want to play these old Pokemon. Like, I don't want to play a game.
Do you even like Pokemon?
Not really. I like the original.
You played Pokemon Go. You're one of those suckers that were caught up in that whole fad.
I like the catching mechanic of Pokemon, but in Pokemon the game, you're guaranteed to catch everything. In Pokemon Go, you're not. You have to like when a Pokemon appears, you're like, holy shit! Like, I haven't seen this before. On the game, you're going to see the same Pokemon 50 times. There's no excitement to catching one because you just know, oh, I missed it. I'll just get the next one. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So it's a long game, but I feel like the reason it's a long game is because it takes so long. You're reading through lots of boring story, like dialogue. There's no voice acting still. It's just like, it's so dated.
Yeah. So, what would you give it a score out of? As a game, let's forget that it's popular. As a game.
See, for people who have played the games, I feel like if you love it, you're going to love this. Because it's got so many... They keep iterating and, making them better. But for me personally, I just can't. I can't get into it. It's not for me. I mean, let's break it down then. If I give it visuals, I'd give it a 5 out of 10. Because...
That's generous.
Because as much charm as it has...
That's saying it's middle
and
of the
pack. Pokemon... Yeah, because there is a lot of charm and, colour and, just... The way they detail things is nice, but the limitation of the hardware and the fact that they haven't driven to try and hit that peak of what it could be...
Okay, so... Brings it down. So you're saying if there's 1,000 games this year, we'll put 1,000 games there, that would be, graphically, number 500.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be... less than that?
No.
Okay,
no, it wouldn't be worse. There's so many worse games than that.
Alright. Okay, that's good.
It's mediocre. It really fits in that 5 out of 10.
Then maybe it's not so bad.
And sound design is it's the same generic sounds you hear the Pokemon make. It's like, I don't know. It's just... It's a very niche game.
Let's just break it down. What's the overall? How do you feel overall? Let's not.
I can't get into it. I just really
That's okay.
can't.
So what's the score? Do it.
5 out of 10. 2.5 out of 5.
That's as low as he goes, guys.
because it's not bad. It's just not for me.
It's not bad, is it?
It's not bad. I could.
It sounds terrible.
If I played this when I was a kid, I would have loved it. But I don't know.
But that's because you love Pokemon. But as a game, as a game,
I love Pokemon.
As a kid, you did.
Yeah, as a kid, I loved it.
Yeah, that's why you love the game.
That's why I reckon if you love Pokemon, you'll love the game.
Okay,
if you're a kid, you'll love the game.
Forgetting your love for the franchise, as a game.
Yeah, I'd give it a 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Because it's not bad. It's not bad, but it's just not engaging enough. It's not. And
I just can't imagine that there would be 50% of the games that are made are worse than that as a game, that without the love and attachment to Pokemon.
Well, you reckon there's games that are... Have you seen what's on 3DS? There's some rubbish.
There's a lot of rubbish. Yeah. But when I'm talking about every game, I'm not talking about just what's on 3DS.
Oh, well... No, I'd still keep it there, because... The amount of content that's in there, the amount of things you can do, the differentiate, the different things that you can do in there, it does have some cool little neat ideas. I mean, the little photo mode's kind of cool. I don't know. It's got things it's more. It's like Tamagotchis. Remember those things?
Yeah, they were terrible as well.
I know, but people got into those. You can actually do that now in the Pokemon game as well. That's another feature I realised. Your Pokemon get dirty, you can groom them, you can make them love you more, and I'm like, I don't want to do any of this crap. Who cares if he looks like crap? I don't need to pat him every hour to get his hearts up. I don't care. And it's that stuff that people either love or you hate. There's not some guy who's like, it's not bad. It's either you love it or you hate it, and I can't stand doing that crap. It's I just want to battle and collect them. I don't want to maintain them, breed them, decorate them. I don't care about any of that crap.
Yeah.
It's not for me, but if you love Pokemon, I'm sure you'll love it.
But that's what you could say about every Pokemon, I guess.
I know, and that's what I mean. It's a very niche crowd. You either love it or you hate it. I don't know anyone who's
that's why I'm trying desperately to eliminate the love or hate for Pokemon away from the perception of how good the game itself is as a game. Do you know what I mean? Because I have this issue with everybody, including myself. I do this as well. We're all victims of it, where we kind of reflect on what we love as a premise and a concept or a show or whatever, and then we use it to kind of influence the way we review the game.
Yeah, but I'm reviewing it based on, it could be Pokemon, it could be anything.
Well, that's
it's mediocre.
That's fine. I was trying to bait you. You didn't get baited, so well done.
Because it's not bad. It's not as. It's not. It's.
Like I
It's
would
just average.
Well, like I mean, for example, like, I would show a natural bias towards the next Dark Souls game that comes out, for example. So you know, and I'd probably like go, oh, it's got to be 10 out of 10, and if it's secretly like a 7, I'd probably still say it was a 10. Do you know what I mean? And I'll tell you what, I shit you not, I swear that happened with the Zelda game on Switch this year. Nostalgia took over those reviews.
Did it for me. I gave it Game of the Year.
Took over those reviews.
Did I give it Game?
No, you did Mario.
Okay, well it was close to, but I think it was in my top 3.
Yeah.
But I gave that game a top mark because Zelda never really drags me in, and that one did.
Yeah.
I've never finished a Zelda game except for the one on 3DS that I really liked.
I'm sure it was good, but we won't go into that because we already did that in the previous video, which you
Nintendo.
can watch. You can watch on Gamebug. You can watch the previous ones on Gamebug as well.
So yeah, like I mean, you like Pokemon, or if you're getting over it, just stop playing it. There's one coming on Switch. Hopefully that's better. Black Desert Online sounds like a really good game to just sink hours into.
If you want, my recommendation with going back to the Black Desert one, just to cap that one off. If you're looking for a game that has more to it, that's got more depth, if you're getting a little bit sick of just generic shooters where you just shoot things in your way, or just any other game type that's really out there right now, really, you just want something a bit more meaty, you can't get any meatier than Black Desert Online.
And if you want the complete opposite of that, play PUBG, where all you do is get a few guns and go kill everyone. There's no dialogue, no story, nothing. Nothing. Just kill everyone. That's it.
Sounds good.
So, I mean, perfect polar opposites, and Pokemon just sits in the back.
I don't know if that's perfect polar, because I think PUBG's got a bit more to it. It's got a bit more meat on it than most of those shooters.
Not really, let's be honest.
Okay, well you'd know, you've played it, so...
It's not really much more.
On that note, thank you for joining us, guys. I am Ice Cube, and...
I'm Zorbs.
Zorbs right here.
Thank you for listening to our reviews discussion.
Yes, I think your posh voice suits the shirt you're wearing right now as well.
Oh, shut up, I hate the shirt!
I keep getting on that. Thanks for joining us, guys. We'll be back for another video very soon. Bye.